welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if you're new. My name's Marie, I make mental health videos. Yeah, you say this every week, Marie, we get it. Today I thought I would do a second part to my mental health assumptions. I know, who even remembers that, because that was so long ago, Marie, like, oh my god, get a grip. Yeah, it was a really long time ago, but I just remember it went down well, so fuck off, hair, idiot. It's not even my hair. I just remember it went down really well, and honestly, if it went down well, it goes in my book as tick, let's maybe redo. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I asked on my Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. It's a fun time, you know? It's where all the shit goes down. And I actually just did a post about scars, so if you're interested in that, go check it out. Okay, it's kind of like a balance between like my social life and my mental health. Like, I try and balance it out, but yeah, whatever, no one cares. No one cares about the dissection of your Instagram, Marie. Just fucking make it look nice and get gone. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't really know what to film, so please comment down below which either topics or video ideas you'd like me to cover. I'm not, first one I just say I can't do because I know it always gets brought up, is talking to my parents about my mental health. They just don't want to be on the channel, which is totally fair, so that will not happen. I can try and get Amy in before she goes to uni. But we'll have to see about that. And yeah, I just don't know what to film, but I have got a new series starting on Thursday, so yeah, if you see this and you're not subscribed, subscribe, because it's going to be totally something new, and it's really I'm really scared that it's just going to absolutely flop like a flip-flop, but we're going to try, we're going to try. So yeah, like I said, I asked on my Instagram for some assumptions. I nearly said questions, not right. What we're gonna do is just basically either debunk them or just chat through them, you know? See what we think about them. Okay, so the first one, it says, once you stop self-harming, you're healed. And same goes for ED. I definitely think this is something that a lot of people feel. I know that I in the past had felt it. And that was that if you aren't self-harming, you're therefore okay. And as I always say, self-harming is just the literal surface level of the problem. There is a problem which is causing you self-harm, and just because you stop self-harming doesn't mean the problem has gone, because self-harm didn't cause the problem, or self-harm caused, okay, there's a problem, then you self-harm because of the said problem, and then self-harm causes a problem because people can see it. So if you stop self-harming, people think that this problem has gone when it hasn't. Does that make sense? I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking bullshit. Yeah, I think a lot of people feel this way, and I think it's nothing to be ashamed about if you do feel this way, but it's definitely, I think it's actually a very insightful thing to say to your psychiatrist, your CPN, your therapist, I don't know, anyone who's managing your mental health, and even like depending on your age, either your parents or your boyfriend or whatever, if you say to them like, look, just because I've stopped self-harming doesn't mean the problem's actually gone, it's actually a very insightful thing. It's something that a lot of people will be like, oh, you know what, like, I didn't think about it as like that. I didn't think about self-harm just being the surface level basis of the problem with professionals and that, without realising, I don't think they mean to do this, but it can feel like you're being patronised sometimes, and they dismiss your intelligence because they're like, oh, this girl, this boy has no insight into their lives, like they're just doing this for not for attention, but they're just doing this because they feel a bad way, they're just a bit depressed, like, but if you go and say to them, look, just because I'm eating doesn't mean all the thoughts have gone, doesn't mean the emotion's gone, it's just I'm trying, but I still need help with the problem, which is causing me to either have an eating disorder or have a self-harming problem. I do think it's very insightful to say, and honestly, if you say it to someone, I bet they'll take you more seriously, which is sad, but I think it's true. This one's really sad. People with BPD are lost causes. I have BPD too. I think people in the mental health field have a very distorted vision of what a personality disorder is. At the end of the day, personality disorders are caused from trauma. They are caused from a very destructive and problematic livelihood. I think that's forgotten a lot of the time, and I think people think that just because that you have BPD, therefore you are a certain way, or you have BDP, that is not it, BPD, what was I even saying? I can't remember. People think that if you just, people think that you're acting a certain way because you have BPD, and it's not always the case. I know with myself, like, I think I've said this in a video before, but like when I was 17 and I was in a psychiatric hospital, and they referred me to this place called the Olive Tree, which in Coventry is a place you can be referred to if you have a personality disorder. Obviously I was 17, so I was too young to be diagnosed, but I had a doctor come to see me and like talk to me and everything. And actually, I don't even know what actually happened from that. I remember going in and I literally spoke to him for like 5 minutes, and then he was like, okay, that's fine, we move. And him and this other doctor just left, and I was like, what? Because everyone had made such a big deal about it. But one of the staff members, who was actually my favourite staff member, so, you know, not my favourite comment she made, but you know, wise words of Hannah Montana, everyone makes mistakes and everyone has those days. She said, oh, personality disorder, like you don't want one of those. And I was like, why? Why not? Like not in terms of like, why? I really want one. It was more like, I don't know, because obviously it's like, you don't want depression, but if you have depression, being told you have depression shouldn't be a lost cause problem. Do you know what I mean? You shouldn't be dealing and feeling like you're a lost cause. And then again in that admission, I remember, obviously I'd never heard of a personality disorder. I was 17, I was quite oblivious, you know, like me, head in the clouds all the time, like when I was talking to one of the girls and she said, oh, the therapist here, and I went, yeah, I'm seeing her, and then I said her name, and then and she went, oh, be careful because she doesn't like borderlines. And I was like, what? I was like, how can you dislike someone because of that? Like, that would literally be like a doctor being like, be careful of your brain surgeon, doesn't like brain tumours. What? It just makes no sense. Basically, yes, I do think that there is a massive stigma against personality disorders. But the only thing you can do on an individual level is prove them wrong. If they treat you like shit, prove them wrong. That's what I always think, and I just think, you can treat me a certain way, I am not gonna let that affect me and become my self-fulfilling prophecy. I am gonna prove you wrong and show you that I am able to live a happy life, I'm able to manage my relationships, I'm able to not self-harm, and I'm able not to, you know, explode at every given moment. Like, I can learn it, but you need to give me the help. I think that's one thing that you need to learn, that you need to express. Like, I had DBT and I responded really well to it, and now I would say I'm almost, now I would say if I went into a psychiatric assessment I wouldn't be diagnosed with BPD. However, that might just be because I'm in like remission from it, as opposed to I've never had it. I've come to the conclusion of that, guys. I know for ages I've been going, I don't have it, I just don't have borderline personality disorder. And it's like, well, maybe I don't exude all of the criteria now, but at one point I did. So Marie, get with the program, there's nothing wrong with it. Do you know what I mean? Right, let's see what another one is. Okay, so this is a big one. And it's something that I feel really like bad about, and it says, I think everyone assumes the crisis team are useless, but they actually serve a purpose. And I think I agree. Like, honestly, when I was ill I used to go, oh, the cry shit team, and because my dad kind of labelled them the cry shit team, and then loads of people started saying cry shit team. Basically it's a bit of a postcode lottery really. You can get a really good crisis team in your area, or you can get a poor one, but that's the same with every service. They are there to serve a purpose, and I would say in my area they are not the best. I've heard of places where they are so much more, but like this person said, they are there to serve a purpose. And yes, if they tell you to have a bath, that's not going to cure you, but it might help you get through the night. And I think that's one thing that we need to really think about, the way in which we dismiss the help that we get. I think that's something that I've learned as I've matured and got older. I'm no longer that 18-year-old who thought, oh yeah, if I slag them off then that's fine. No, these people are real people, they have real jobs, you know, and they wouldn't be in the job, well, most of them wouldn't be in the job unless they cared. And I know that them saying to you, oh, have a bath, have a hot drink, yeah, it doesn't seem helpful, but honestly, if someone goes to me, some people go to me on Instagram, they go like, oh, I feel like self-harming, what do I do? And I will give them distraction tips. And I think with the crisis team is that we have a higher expectation of them than they are able to fulfill. Mental health services are so underfunded, and we can't expect them to cure us. Or like, I remember one time someone said to me, like, what did he say? There was this guy and I was on the phone to him and he was like, oh, you just need to get through the night. And I was like, well, that just means don't die. And I'm like, no, I look back and go, I didn't say that to him, but I said that to my parents. No, I didn't even say that. I said, that means don't have depression because then you can't die, or something like that. And I mouthed off about it. And I think back and I'm like, no, like sometimes all you've got to do is get through the night, like he said, because in the morning you might wake up and feel a little better and be able to cope a little bit more. Like, if you can do anything that can help you get through the night, then do it. But they aren't there to supply you with all of these things. They are just there to try and keep you out of hospital. And yeah, I think I would like to publicly apologise for the way I've spoken about some mental health services in the past, because it was definitely a massive mistake. Not saying that the crisis team in my area are the best, because did they help me a lot? Not really, but were they massively underfunded? Yes. Were they there for me when the hospital or other people weren't? Yes, they were. And that's what we have to remember, is that we have to be honest with them and we have to try and make the most of a bad situation, really, if that makes sense. So I really like that one. Okay, the next one is self-harm is for teenagers only. I get embarrassed telling my therapist that can I speak? I actually can't speak. Self-harm is for teens, and you know what? I actually just made up the whole thing as I go, because what is wrote down is not what I said. Self-harm is for teens. There's a shame to even tell my therapist I still get urges as an adult. That was what was wrote down. Read what is said on the paper, Marie. This one, I think people who are less educated may assume this. If you are in the mental health realm, you will know that self-harm is not just cornered off as teens. It doesn't get to 18 and then it's like all of a sudden self-harm urges gone. No, that does not happen. I wish. So I would say if you're embarrassed to tell your therapist that you still get urges, tell them. Like, they will understand, they know about self-harm. If you're, on the other hand, embarrassed about saying to potentially your partner, you know, like if you have kids, or you're worried about what your other family may say if they find out that you're self-harming and you're not 14, all I can say is that you have to try and, well, not you, that they need to get educated, whether they do that through you, whether they do that via social media, or like whether they go to see a therapist or a doctor themselves, whether they look on websites. Like, they need to get educated, and my views may be a little less idealistic or stereotypical than maybe someone who's never had to deal with mental health in the past, because people who have never dealt with mental health don't really tend to get to know it that well. I'm speaking on behalf of a load of people that I should not be speaking about. All I'm saying is that their view may say that, like, society's view is that stereotypically teenagers self-harm, not adults. Obviously, from my view, I'm like, well, that's not true, but because society's view is that way, because that's the way it's portrayed in the media, because that's the way you see it in films and in TV shows, that's what a lot of people will feed into. So I again think, try and educate the people around you and be honest with them. And if it's a therapist you're worried about telling, tell them, because they will not judge you. Like, therapists will not judge you, I promise. I need to just move this in a bit. Just a little bit. Okay, okie dokie. Okay, and then we'll do the last one. People assume that mentally ill people are violent and psych wards are horrific. So there's kind of like two in that one, obviously. So people with mental illnesses are dangerous. I think that is definitely a stereotype that a lot of people think, and again, it's because of the way mentally ill people are portrayed in the media. They are almost always demonised, almost always demonised. Not even a word, Marie, that's not a word. It's very hard to depict and portray the correct version of people with mental health problems, because there is no just one size fits all, do you know what I mean? And that psychiatric hospitals are horrific. I mean, each to their own. Some people have had great experiences in psychiatric hospitals. Some people have had different experiences. I wouldn't go as far to say that psychiatric hospitals are horrific. Do I necessarily agree with them? I wouldn't say, okay, I wouldn't say I disagree with them. I don't think they are the best way to help people get better. Like, let's just put all the mentally crazy people who we don't want in society into one house and like let them live together. Don't always think that's the best solution. However, do I have a better solution? No. So do I have the agency to talk about this? Not really. I'm not even going to get into that. Psychiatric hospitals are there to help you get out of crisis, help stabilise you. Are they horrific places? I mean, they're not very nice places, I'm not gonna lie to you, like, they're not great. Some people may have had really good experiences. From my own experiences, the environment itself is not great, however the people in it, both patients and staff, are next to none. They are not paid a lot, they work long hours, and they're still there to help you at the end of the day, and I think they should be valued more That goes for anyone really in the NHS services. They work long fucking hours and they do a lot of things that you wouldn't really expect them to. They have to be empathetic yet impartial. They have to be caring yet professional. It's very difficult, and I think the social side as well as the medicinal side is like two different things. So yeah, psychiatric hospitals are not the best place. I mean, I wouldn't go there on a holiday, do you know what I mean? But it's all swings and roundabouts, isn't it? We all have different opinions. Okay, so I am gonna love you and leave you there. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want me to do a part 3-parter, then let me know, but I really hope you did enjoy, and if you did, give this a like, subscribe if you're new, and hit that bell if you want to be notified every time I make a video. I'm gonna love you and leave you. Stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye!